Hello students, how are you all? I hope you must be staying home, staying safe. Okay, so today we are going to continue with the lecture of lesson number 2, that is Socialism in Europe and the Russian Revolution. Today we are going to start with page number 35 and the topic which we are going to cover up, the February Revolution in capital, that is Petrograd. So, before this, we have completed the topic that was the World War One and the Russian Empire. From that, we came to know that Russia was already suffering because of the financial crisis, and workers, peasants, every section of the society was suffering just because of the attacks from the opponents. World War, Bloody Sunday, different events were going on, and there were a lot of disturbance all around the country. So how this February Revolution started and what impact it had. So in this topic we are going to cover up. So I'll give you a brief outline of the topic which we will cover. So let's talk about the capital, that is Petrograd. Basically the layout of the city was also noticing that there is the river Neva. You can see on the board, that is on the right bank we can see the workers quarters, factories. Means the city themselves, means the city's design was in such a way the people were divided on the basis of the work they do, on the basis of their status and all. So on the right side we had the workers quarters, factories, and on the left side there were the fashionable buildings like office, palace, even the Tsar's palace, that was Winter Palace, and the building where the parliament met. So this was the slight layout, a design of the city Petrograd. Then in 1917, extreme winter leads to food shortage. Now why it is extreme? Because of the geographical location of Russia, and even it was quite big, and the winter hits in such a way that it destroyed the crops in Russia, which leads to the food shortage for the people. Then on 22nd February 1917, when workers woke up in the morning, they saw the factories were locked out. They were surprised, they were shocked by seeing this. And on next day, that is on 23rd of February, they all marched together to approach Tsar, that was on the left side of the river Neva. And the noticing thing, the main thing was in this, that it was led by women. Yes, it was led by women. That's why the 22nd February is also known as the International Women's Day. Fine. Then on 24th and 25th, although they leaded by women, they went there, asked Tsar for the sympathy for the problem they are facing. Because of extreme winter, they are facing the problem of food. Here the factories are locked out. So these were the demands, these were the problem they wanted to share with the Tsar. Even they wanted to talk about the wages, the salary, bread, and the working condition, working hours. Many things were there, but basic things used to be there. Then they came back, but they came back, it doesn't mean they stopped, but they went back again on 24th and 25th. Again they went back to the left side of the river Neva, and again they showed the demonstration against the Tsar. Then on 25th, Duma was suspended. Yeah, Duma was suspended by the government. On 27th, because of the Duma suspension, the mob was angered and the people were very angry, and in that anger they attacked on the police headquarters. So this is the brief outline I have given you about the topic of the February Revolution, and much more is in this. So let's move on with the PDF of this book. Please open textbook page number 35. Yes, here we have the February Revolution from your textbook, and this is the PDF which is on your screen. First we will cover up the topic from your textbook, and then we will take care of the PDF, which will be a kind of a recap or a summary of the topic covered. So let's start. The February Revolution in Petrograd. Petrograd, the capital of Russian Empire. In the winter of 1917, conditions in the capital, that is Petrograd, were green. Now, what does the word green means? It was very serious, which was noticeable. The layout of the city seems to emphasize the division among its people. The workers' quarters, factories were located on the right bank of the river Neva. On the left bank were the fashionable areas, the Winter Palace, and official buildings, including the palace where the Duma met. In February 1917, food shortages were deeply felt in the workers' quarter. The winter was very cold. There had been exceptional frost and heavy snow. Parliamentaries wishing to preserve the elected government were opposed to Tsar's desire to dissolve the Duma. Yeah. Now the Tsar wanted to dissolve this Duma, means that's the parliament, and by hearing this desire, the parliamentaries politicians were little bit disappointed that although only conservatives are there in the parliament, that is the third Duma, who are in favor of Tsar, and then also he don't want to continue with the parliament, means this is the high time now. So they were not happy with this demand or the wish which Tsar kept in front of them. So little bit they were disappointed. Then this is the first point. Then what happened? On 22nd February, a lockout took place at the factory on the right bank. Now, as I've told you, on the right side of River Neva, the factories used to be there. And when the workers woke up in the morning, they went to work, they saw that the factories were locked out. It was quite surprising, quite shocking for all of them, which made them to demonstrate a strike in front of the Tsar for the sympathy. And on top of that, they all were led by women. Yeah, this time the women were in the picture. They were the main lead role. Okay. Then the next day, workers in 50 factories called a strike in sympathy. In many factories, women led the way to strike. This came to be known as the International Women's Day. Demonstrating workers crossed from the factory quarters to a central of the capital, the Nevsky Prospect. Now, this is the center of the capital, not capital. I have to clear this point. I have to emphasize on this point because many of you get confused that ma'am just now talked about the Petrograd, which is the capital of Russian Empire, and here the another word. So let me clear you. It is the center of the capital, Nevsky Prospect, and here they all stood stand. At this stage, no political party was actively organizing the movement. Means they are talking about the illegal parties which were practicing before. As the fashionable quarters and official buildings were surrounded by workers, the government imposed a curfew. Yet this was the kind of scene which happened on the 22nd of January. That was the Bloody Sunday event. And on that day also the same demands workers kept in front of the Tsar. But Tsar thought that they all might have come to attack on him, and it occurred, the event of Bloody Sunday occurred. So this time Tsar was little bit careful. So he declared a curfew in city, and which made demonstrators to go back to the right side again. Then it doesn't mean they all stopped. They all came back on 24th and 25th. Let's see. The workers imposed the curfew. Demonstration dispersed by the evening, but they came back on 24th and 25th. The government called out for the cavalry and the police to keep eye on them. Here, now the police and cavalry were quite attentive that there should not be any misaction which will lead to any kind of casualty. So they all were very alert. Now, on Sunday, that is on 25th of February, the government suspended the Duma. Now, finally, the wish has come true, which the Tsar was wanted. So, the Duma was finished. And do you think that people or the politicians, those who were the part of Duma, were happy? No, they were not happy. So now they are disappointed and they wanted to be the part of this revolution. Then what happened? Politicians spoke out against the measures. Now they spoke out for the measures. Demonstrated return in force to the street of the left bank on the 26th. On the 27th, the police headquarters were ransacked. Now, what does the word ransack means? Ransack means the causing any kind of damage. When you are damaging anything, when you are damaging any building, that leads to that known as ransack. Then what happened? The streets thronged means gathered by the people, with people raising slogans about the bread, wages, better hours, and democracy. These were the demand. Even before also they demanded for the same things. The government tried to control the situation and called out the cavalry once again. Now here the cavalry was called once again to control on them, and if they are not listening, they may get order to fire on them. Now what happened? However, the cavalry refused to fire on the demonstrators. Now here is the turning point. Now here the cavalry and the police came together and they refused the order of the government to fire on the demonstrators. Now that's called a turning point. An officer was shot at the barracks of the regiments, and three other regiments came together voting to join striking workers. Now, here we can say that the three regiments, three unions coming together, forming a union. Again, a point of unions comes and proving over here, voting to join the striking workers. Now, they all also have joined. Now, first workers, then politicians of the Duma. Third, these are the cavalries and the police. They all came to. Now, here we can see the different types of team came together. By the evening, soldiers and the striking workers had gathered to form a Soviet or council in the same building as the Duma met. Council or the Soviet means a form of government which is mutual, which will work for the welfare of them, welfare of the society. This was the Petrograd Soviet. Why Petrograd Soviet? Because it was formed in Petrograd, so that's why Petrograd Soviet. The very next day, the delegation means the members of this council, the Soviet, want to see the Tsar. Went to see the Tsar. They went to see the Tsar. Now, the military commanders, those who were the military commanders were there now, they advised him to abdicate. Abdicate means to re-announce the throne or leave the position, leave the monarchy. He followed their advice and abdicated on 2nd March. Now, finally, the monarchy is finished. Now, he left his throne, means chhod diya. Okay, monarchy he left. Now, Soviet leaders and the Duma leaders formed a provisional government to run the country. Russia's future would be decided by a constituent assembly elected on the basis of universal adult suffrage. Petrograd had led a February revolution that brought down the monarchy in February 1917. Now, finally, the monarchy has brought down in February 1917. That's why it is being said that February Revolution, you can say it was the starting, or you can say the very important event of the Russian Revolution. Now, I hope you must have understood. Let's take a summary or a recap of this February Revolution in the form of PDF. Now, the February Revolution, you can see some pictures over here, which can show you that what kind of it is, and it played an important role. Then, if you remember, we had a talk about the layout of the city, Petrograd, how it was. Let's have a see. Winter of 1917 conditions in Petrograd was little bit serious. So, layout of the city divided among its people. Now, the city was divided among its people. Here you can see the great river Neva, and right bank, the right side of Neva, workers' quarters and factories used to be there here, and left bank, that is the left side of the Neva, fashionable areas, Winter Palace, official buildings you can see over here. So this we can say as the left side, and this we can see as the right side of the Neva. So this was the layout of the city, which was planned accordingly. Now let's talk about the February Revolution in Petrograd. The February Revolution in Petrograd. Winter of 1917 made the condition in the capital worse, with the food shortage in workers' quarters. Workers staged a protest against the factory lockout with strikes joined by women. This event marked as an International Women's Day. For your kind information, it was 22nd February 1917. Cavalry and police was called to restrict demonstrators. Duma was suspended. Yeah, Duma was suspended on 25th of February. Demonstrators ransacked the police headquarters and raised slogans. Cavalry refused to fire on the demonstrators. Many regiments joined striking workers. Now, why they refused to fire on the demonstrator? Because somewhere they also felt that why to fire on these poor demonstrators? What they are demanding, if Tsar is not listening to it, mean if Tsar is a king or the monarchy, but he dismantled the Duma also, so it also somewhere hurt the every part of the society. So they refused them, and they finally decided to be the part of the demonstrators. Now, here's the formation of Soviet. A provincial government was formed, constituent assembly elected by universal adult suffrage. And finally, monarchy was brought down in 1917. So here we are finished with the topic, what we were supposed to cover up today. And if you have any doubt, you can ask me through WhatsApp or through the comment below. And tomorrow we are going to see the aftermath. Tomorrow, not in the next topic, in the next video we will talk about the next what was the aftermath of the February Revolution, and what happened aftermath. So till then, take care, goodbye, have a nice day. Thank you.